Okay, the next thing that we find then is in a story is we come to characters. Once we find out what the point of view is, and once we understand that, we start to learn more about, and the characters begin to develop. So characters are often memorable if they can come alive for us when we read, if we can feel like they're part of the story and not just being an outside observer. They actually live on the page and they're hard to forget. So let's go back to Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Bruno and Schmoll were pretty good characters. The author did a really good job because you really can remember them. Even though they're fictional, they will stay with you. I mean, you think about that whole story and what happened at the end, that's pretty memorable. Okay? Short stories use few characters, and one character is clearly central to the story. All major events are having some importance to this character, and this character is called the protagonist. So instead of saying the main character, now we're going to start calling them the protagonist. So we're starting to increase our vocabulary when we talk about books that we read and stories that we read. The opposer of the main character is called the antagonist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Pro is the main character, antagonist is what's going against the main character. Now, in a story, in a book or a piece of literature like Harry Potter, the protagonist clearly is Harry Potter. Who is the antagonist? Who's going against Harry Potter?
He who should not be named.
Yes, he who should not be named, Voldemort. So we have two characters. One is the main character and one is opposing the main character. However, in some of our stories, the antagonist is not another character. It might be a situation, like in Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Bruno and Schmoll are the protagonists, right? Particularly Bruno is. The antagonist is Hitler's plan to annihilate the Jews. There's no character that's antagonizing the protagonist. It's the plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the antagonist isn't necessarily a character. It could be a situation, could be an element of weather, could be something, or an element of nature. It could be something like that. In order for the story to seem real, the characters have to seem real, right? Have you ever read a story where the characters seem fakey? Either they're over the top or they're not enough, and you don't enjoy the story. So it's very important to be able to get a clear picture of the characters, and we do that through something called characterization. Up until this point, you were being asked to identify the characters and tell me something about them by what they looked like and how they acted. Well, now you can see that we're stepping up to the next level. Not only do we worry about their physical appearance, we have to be considering what they think or what they feel or what they dream about. And I don't mean dream while you're sleeping. I mean like their hopes and dreams for their future. What they do or do not do. Sometimes what characters choose not to do is more telling of a character than what they actually do. What other characters in the novel will say about them, and how other characters react to their actions. All of these things will help us understand a character. So if we write about characterization of a novel, then we want to look at all of these elements to determine who that character is. Not just what they look like and what they say. Okay?